Hello there. On this tutorial, we are going to learn how to implement Facebook Ads advanced matching for form leads just for Google Tag Manager client side setup. This is the part 1, and in part 2, you will learn how to replicate the changes and integrate it with server-side tracking from Facebook Conversion API. So if you don't have server-side setup, you can finish this tutorial and you will be great to start a campaign. But if you have server-side, you have to implement this tutorial and the next tutorial. All right, let's dive in. The requirement for this project, you need the Google Tag Manager client side installed. This is the regular web container. Second, GTM Publisher access to this GTM account. Facebook-based pixel activated under the Events Manager in Facebook Business Manager. Optional, Facebook Pixel Helper installed plugin installed in your browser. Next, Facebook Events Manager and access to the production pixel. This is really important. And a lead form. And for this tutorial, we are going to use Wordpress and an Elementor form. Nevertheless, if you don't have an Elementor form and if you have other stuff running, that's okay. You can complete this tutorial. All right, let's dive into the steps. First, let's set up a base pixel and PageView event on the client side setup. As a first step, under this step, we are going to copy the code from this particular GitHub repository. Let's go there, and we are going to copy the script by making a click here. Then you will go to Google Tag Manager client side, click new, and we are going to select a custom HTML tag, paste the code right over here, and the next step is to create these variables, the meta pixel ID, the email, phone, all that, and select a trigger. We are going to select all pages. Let's name this Facebook Ads base pixel. And now let's create the variables. Let's save. Now let's go to variables. Now in the variables section, let's go to user defined variables, click new. Here I'm going to name this meta pixel ID. This will be a constant variable. This will hold the pixel ID value on any tag. So to find the pixel ID, let's go to the Events Manager of Facebook, and you will select the number right here. This is the base pixel. And remember that you have to verify. If you haven't launched yet, like that's okay. But if you have multiple pixels, make sure you are selecting the correct one. Let's paste the pixel ID here. Let's click save. Next, we are going to create the variable for email and phone. So we are going to create an email value. And by the way, it has to be lowercase because in the code is lowercase, so let's paste it correctly. We are going to select here a first party cookie. This is a really interesting tag manager variable. Everything will have sense later. Just follow with me, bear with me. And we are going to select cookie name em from email. Cool. Let's save this. And we can duplicate this one, right? So because we are super practical, and here we are going to pass phone in lowercase because that's how it's in the code. And here we are going to select ph of phone, click save. And by the way, always remembering to apply consent properly in your website before getting access to this user provided data. If user consent them for giving their data and you're displaying correctly, this is okay. All right, just a friendly message about be compliant. All right, as soon you already update the tag and you created the variables, you are ready to test this to see if the base pixel is working. Let's go to the website by activating the Google Tag Manager Tag Assistant. And we are using now the pixel helper, which I recommend you install, and we see the PageView event. For the moment, that's cool. That means that we are tracking almost the basic for the pixel. Now, as the next step, let's add a Facebook lead event. We are going to do the same to go to GitHub right here, and we are going to copy this snippet that has the lead event with some event ID parameters that we will clean in a while. So let's go to Tag Manager. We are going to create a new tag here. Let's select custom HTML tag. And we are going to deselect this. This is just for client side, so we don't need all these guys here, all this information. So make sure you have the script like this clean. All right. Now we should add a trigger, but as I'm not sure yet about how the lead event will behave here. So I'm going to make a test submission right here. We are going to track for this tutorial the form below here. So let me move this out. I'm going to fill it with test values. All right, I already filled test values. Let's send this. And let's see what happened. All right, we get directed to a thank you page. So we are going to use the thank you page as the trigger. So it's under /gracias, that is thank you in Spanish. So let's go to the triggering section of the tag we are creating, and I'm going to select a new trigger. Let's call this lead thank you page, and we are going to select a page view trigger, but some of the page views we are not interested in all the page views. We are interested on the page views that the page path contains gracias or thank you. Let's click save. And finally, let's name this tag Facebook lead. Cool. Let's save this. Now let's roll the preview mode. And by the way, meanwhile this load, let me tell you something. Tag Manager is super buggy, so there are some times you have to close the tag assistant, the website, clear the cookies and the cache, so you can get a fresher version of the website and Tag Manager. All right, so let's test the conversion again. I will go down below. I will fill the form fields. All right, I just filled this form. Let's test this. Now we are getting redirected to the thank you page. All right, and gracias. Now let's explore the pixel helper, and we see that we have the lead event right here. This is so awesome, but this is not an advanced matching yet setup. So let's go to that part right now. To set up advanced matching, we need to first create a user-provided data variable and set automatic collection. To do that, you will go to the Tag Manager container. Let's go to variables, next user-defined variables, and we are going to select a specific variable in GTM called user-provided data. We are going to set automatic collection, right? And let's name this UPD, user-provided data. We are going to click save, and let me explain you what does achieve this particular variable. So with this variable, you can like pull automatically data from the email form or phone number without adding scripts or other utilities. It makes the process very easy to do it. So we are going to leverage that, and let me show you how it works. So we already have a new website session tag assistant with the current version. Let's fill the form again and see that I just filled the phone number here, and let's add a test here email. So with that variable, we are going to grab these values, but that's not all the part. So this is the first step. There are other steps that we need to continue, so bear with me that I have to show you all the next steps. So let's just fill this with test values. Let's submit, and let's see what we got in Tag Manager. So right now the thank you page is loading and we have the thank you page here. Nevertheless, the variable will work on the page that the form is deployed. So here in the form submit event number 14, if we go to variables and when we look our UPD variable or user variable, we see here below that we capture the email. That's very nice.